I know shit.
All right, people. All right. My name's Relevant, and it's time to drop some truth bombs. There's been a lot of talk going around. There's been a lot of talk going on about 5G and COVID, and 5G and COVID, and that 5G is creating COVID. Now, that doesn't make any sense at first. It's like, oh, well, how does a radio frequency cause death and disease? Well, maybe, just maybe, I can explain it to you. But first off, you have to understand, what is the deal with 5G? Why is it dangerous? Why does it make me want to die? Well, it's simple. You got a radio tower, right? You got another radio tower, right? Draw their like little support beams there. You know, you want to draw some radio towers, right? And then they're broadcasting. They're broadcasting like this. I was hoping to draw a better picture of that, but you get the idea. They're broadcasting like this, right? Now, if you know anything about frequencies, you know, they're a wave, right? They're a wave. Now, here's the thing. If you have two frequencies that are out of phase broadcasting at each other, and you have another complete opposite wave, they end up canceling each other out, right? So if you are standing right here in the middle, you are being bombarded by like just zero frequency radiation. There's no more frequencies over there. It's just like, it's just friggin' coming down on you, right? Coming down on you. Now, see, that's not the problem, right? That is not the problem. The problem is when you are slightly off center, right? Just slightly, like you're not quite center, you're just, off center. Because now you have a frequency coming in like this, right? And then you have a frequency that's almost out of phase, right? And there's going to be these areas that are going to get canceled out because they're in complete opposition to each other. But then you're going to get these areas that aren't canceled out. What ends up happening is this kind of creation of a virtual low frequency, right? Because it's canceling out half the information, but not the other half. So you end up having this pulsate coming at you, right? These peaks and spikes. It's kind of like a hammer effect. Now, it's not necessarily the high frequencies that fuck you up. It's the ultra low frequencies that are getting generated in these oddball nodes that are fucking you up, right? I need fresh wipe ass. Now, I know what you're thinking. But comrade, routers, they have had 5G for 15 years. Why we not have problems with routers? Well, that's really fucking simple math and physics, right? You see, a router is maybe a couple watts at most, just barely enough power to cover maybe 1,000, 2,000 square feet if you got a good one. But if you put it at the far end of the house, you're not going to get fucking shit Wi-Fi at the other end of the house. And God forbid you're wandering out in the yard. It's just not happening if you're out there, right? So a 5G tower, we're not talking about a couple watts here. We're talking about thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even megawatts, right? Megawatts. It's the difference between a Bic lighter and a fucking jet engine, right? You can try to burn your face off, melt your face off with a Bic lighter. If you have mad Arab levels of will and determination, you could ultimately get it done. But if you go sniffing around the ass end of a jet about to take off, you haven't got much of a fucking choice in the matter. You're going to take your face off. You're going to take your head off. You're going to have a flaming skull. You're going to be running around the runway all like chicken head, fucking just craziness, right? Just, that's the difference. This is megawatts. Now, you're probably wondering, what the fuck does this have to do with COVID, right? This is about COVID and 5G. Okay, you explain to us why 5G is fucking us up, but you're not explaining to us how this has to do with COVID. Well, it's simple. There is no fucking COVID. There's no virus. All the sickness and death that's going around right now is the side effect of 5G radiation, right? They set up the network, they turned the fucking shit on, and then people started fucking dying. You know what I mean? The higher the concentration of people, the more the deaths, right? And this technology, it's all fucking made in China, right? So, of course, they turn it down over there. It looks like it starts there, a little trial run. And of course, they can't admit to it, right? So that's what's going on right now. COVID's just a fucking cover up for this monumental fuck up that is 5G, right? They're trying to figure out, oh shit, what do we do now? So you're probably wondering, well, why the isolation? Because of those fucking nodes. If we move around a lot, we end up walking through those nodes that fuck us up. So they're trying to limit us movements so that we don't walk through these fucking nodes. At the same time, this technology and these disruptive distortion nodes, they're not that well known yet. They maybe saw it coming, but they weren't sure. So they have to pinpoint these. They have to track down these hotspots in order to figure out exactly what the side effect is and how to fix it. Now, if we're all moving around, it makes it difficult. At least when this old folks home sitting right here, gets completely fucking wiped out, they know, oh shit, there must be a node there. So now they can go and measure those frequencies and figure it out. So at the end of the day, the solution is to get the entire network set up and then synchronize all the phases together. And then once they get the entire network built, synced up, then it's not going to fuck us up anymore. Then it can be controlled and relatively safe, just like millions of other things that exist around us in reality that are very dangerous until they're done properly, like fucking power, anything, So they got to keep us under lockdown to limit our exposure to nodes, and also so they can figure out where the nodes are until they can get everything, the network completely built and synchronized and sort the problem out, It's like setting up a sound system in an arena. Once you get it dialed in right, then it doesn't sound like shit anymore. But if you got some fucking amateur half-assing it or doesn't have the right amount of power, right amount of hardware, it's going to sound like arshins, right? It's as simple as that. So, there is no fucking COVID. It's a cover-up. They're trying to keep us locked down till they sort it out, right? It's the reason why they don't know how long it's going to be. Right? It's all just side effects of 5G radiation. 5G doesn't create COVID. 5G is COVID. Now, if you've stuck around this long, then I have news for you. I made all this shit up. I hope you had a laugh.
I know shit.